I'm your host, Logan23. You're joining me for Desire Decorum, Book 3, Chapter 12, Tower of Terror. Deep within the walls of the Tower of London, a familiar figure steps out of the shadows of his prison cell. He smiles at you sinisterly behind the cell bars. I knew you wouldn't be able to stay away forever. Well, Mr. Richards. Surprised to see me. I'm sure you believed Bath would be the last time you saw me. Quite the opposite. I knew you would eventually come crawling back. It was only a matter of time. Mr. Sinclair takes your hand and pulls you close. You no longer have claim or power over my fiancée. Viscountess Bella, I am wounded by how quickly you moved on from our great love affair. It seemed like only yesterday that I stood in front of you and said, I will. Yes, but if I recall correctly, my response was, I will not. What happened then has no bearing on our current circumstances. You're in chains and I am marrying Countess Bella. Perhaps we should move on to the important matter we came here for. Important matter? Oh, wow. My heart leaps in glee to hear you came to me. Please do tell. Mr. Richards, it seems your friend Sir Gideon Payne is back. Can he quickly explain what you have learned since the arrival of Comte Renard? As you can see, we need your help to prove that Percival truly is your son. Mr. Richards doubles over in laughter, unable to stop. He attempts to speak, but he returns to a fit of hysterics. Will you cease your cackling? How can I? It's too rich that after locking me away in this deranged place, you still believe I could help you. Or would. I'm pleased you're enjoying yourself, but it would be best for all of us if we could just get this over with quickly. There must be something we can offer you that will convince us to give us what we came for. Well, you are a pitiable company, but how I will take what I can get in here, especially considering the beggarly dullards I am forced to spend my days with. Do you wish for us to spend time with you? I wish to tell you what lows you forced me, a great man, to. If you do that, perhaps I will help you. He'll tell you naught but lies, you know. If you want to hear the real truth about his insufferable man, you'll hear me out as well. You turn to Mr. Sinclair and your friends, keeping your voice low. I'm not certain whether this is worth our time. If it will help us achieve victory over Comte Renard, perhaps we should appease Mr. Richards. I agree. We must do whatever is necessary. Besides, it sounds as though he wishes to tell us all about his poor treatment. But it sounds as though the guard has embarrassing stories as well. It could be quite entertaining. This is Mr. Richards' story to ensure you get the information you need to see Mr. Richards embarrassed and for one final chance at revenge. Here's story. Your terms are agreeable. I will listen to whatever it is you have to say. Excellent. We could start with a terrible journey from Bath to London. I have never been so jostled in my life, not to mention the flavourless food they expected me to eat, or the incessant shouting of the guard. Miss Parsons rolls her eye. Oh, woe is you. That was only the terrible beginning. We finally arrived at this dreadful place in the middle of the night. That oafish brute they call a guard singled me out immediately. You there, put these on. He lobbled a bundle of disgusting fabric directly at me, the Adonis-like face. You expect me to discard my luxurious clothing in favor of these rags? Why is no one else required to wear such drudgery? I'm sorry. Am I a prisoner of the guard? No questions. You shall have to pry these garments from my cold, dead hands. I stood with pride, befitting a man of stature, but that brute mauled me with his baton. Change now, there'll be more where that came from. I was forced to comply with his depraved demands, stripped right there in the open. Now get inside. Faster, you scum. Scum, I will show you fast. Wow, that his face and everything just suddenly changed in a matter of seconds. I was utterly complained, and yet he still shoved me, skidding me sprawling to a puddle of mud. Look what you've done. Look at my hair. There's dirt beneath my fingernails. You're deliberately embarrassing me. Do you think the king won't hear of this? It was... No, this is completely wrong. That isn't what happened at all. I must admit, I'm rather enjoying Mr. Richard's retelling of his woes. I hope your side of the story is equally engrossing, Yeoman Warden Morris. First of all, Mr. Richards here actually refused to walk through the mud of the courtyard. Mr. Richards even tried to leap into my arms and forced me to carry him across. I cannot walk through the mud. Poor people must have walked through it. I do say carry me on. Aye! That backwards. Stay back! I retreated to avoid the splash of mud as Mr. Richards plummeted face first into the puddle. Oh, my precious Venetian silk brocade vest and aubergine velvet cravat, they're ruined. I must say, Yeoman Warden's story sounds far more likely. I certainly hope it's the truth. His version doesn't make any sense, as if I would ever wear something as ostentatious as velvet cravat. Perhaps not, but his version sounds more like a haughty Mr. Richards I know. Very well, you may not believe me about that, but it was only the start of the horrors I'd been forced to live through. Just last week when my food was delivered. Supper is served. But this is infested. You expect me to eat a meal covered in maggots? There was even a fully grown moth that nearly flew into my mouth. Really? I could die choking on one of these, or by catching some disease from the filthy creatures. Rather than finding me something palatably spat in my food. Eat it or starve. Needless to say, I went hungry. Well, the truth, will you? So you're telling me you don't serve food old enough for a caterpillar to transform into a moth within it? What a surprise that Mr. Richards is lying again. In actuality, it was a delectable, piping hot meat pie. I took it out of the oven only minutes before. You expect me to eat this mound of inedible mush? Well, yes, is there something wrong with it? There is a big spot pink! You must be trying to kill me, to murder me with uncooked meat. Why don't you go ahead and stab me? It would be faster after all. He continued to berate me over a spot of pink that I couldn't even see. Ah, yes, a pink spot, so easily mistaken for a pile of squirming maggots. Then again, you would send a table's worth of food back to a kitchen over a single hair. It would be unsanitary, though not nearly as bad as the maggots. I should hope prisoners here aren't served pest-infested meals. Mr. Richards is clearly exaggerating. The Yeoman Warden tells a far more convincing tale. The stories are so different, it's difficult to tell what the truth could be. Enough! The voice comes from behind you. You spin to find another prisoner wearing an exasperated expression. They are both lying. Allow me to tell you my account. You bore witness to these events. Aye, my lady, I arrived at the Tower of London the same day as Mr. Richards. And he looks more fashionable. I was in the courtyard when Yeoman Warden Morris ushered Mr. Richards and the rest of us towards the door. Keep it moving. Only God's telling me what to do, the call. But before we could get inside, a raven swooped into Mr. Richards' face, mussing his hair, clawing his skin. Watch the raven attack Mr. Richards. What in the devil's name? Ah! Mr. Richards batted at the raven but lost his balance. He caught himself on the branches of a nearby bush as he fell, tearing his clothes before they were sullied by the ground. Those rags are actually a better option. I suppose Mr. Richards was too heartbroken over the loss to recount the truth. And then the story about last week's meal. Mr. Richards was served the same rotten supper of bread and cheese as everyone else. You expect me to eat this mound of inedible mush? There is a maggot in it! Only one? Okay, I found 3 so far. It put meat on your bones. You know, you need that in here. Did I ask you for your input? I refuse to consume this paltry excuse for food. Mr. Richards then threw the maggot at the guard, hitting him square in the eye. That was it. A spitting or nothing. That sounds like Mr. Richards, I know. I suspected the truth might lie somewhere in the middle of their 2 versions. That is not how I recall it, but in either case I was horribly mistreated. Countess Bella, do you not feel any remorse at all for putting me in here? Remorse? I feel nothing but pity for you, like slapping you. Lunge forward, slipping your hand through the bars and clapping it right across Mr. Richards' face. Oh, you would wound a man in my state. Only because you dare to suggest that any of this was my doing. You kept me captive for months. You conspired to commit treason against the crown. You are a heartless creature, Countess Bella, but at least you listened to me. At least it felt good to get that off my chest. Actually, you've made me realize how unacceptable this is all. I shall be writing to the Prince Regent with my complaints. I'm certain it'll be quite amendable to your words. We have listened to your story. Now it's your turn to give us what we want. Well, no matter what, I would tell you nothing so long as that God is here. He cannot hear my secrets. I cannot tell him to leave, but... You turn to Yeoman Warden Morris. I will tell you anything pertinent later. You're hardly being cooperative for someone who wishes my aid. And I suppose so long as he leaves, he's still met my terms. Then be off, sir. I shall return in 15 minutes. You'll not be disturbed until then. Thank you, sir. You nod to the guard and he retreats around the corner. Well, Mr. Richards, do you not have something to say? You still haven't explained why I should help you, rather my good friend Sir Gideon. After all, it was you who landed me here. He sought to put me on England's throne. You should help me because... I betrayed you once already, and he'd do it again. Was it not Sir Gideon who brought your escape attempt to light and used it as a distraction to get away himself? I don't doubt that he would further scapegoat you if he thought it would benefit him. Things could get worse for you, sir. I did always suspect Sir Gideon was merely using me, and I reveled the idea of a worse fate than this. All right, I will assist you, if you plead for it. What, you arrogant old... I so wish to see the Countess grovel, and I suspect this is my only remaining opportunity. I shan't waste it. Come now, be reasonable. Do you want me to beg? This is completely out of order. Countess Bella is free to decline, but she will get nothing from me. Fine. Truly, you need not do this. It's all right, it's for England. He paused and drawn a long breath. Please, Mr. Richards, I beg you, tell me what I need to know. Very good. Now get on your knees. You reluctantly dropped your knees, clasping your hands before you as though in prayer. Please, I beseech you, just tell me. This is by far the best thing or day I've had since you had me placed in chains. Now, do you know anything about what would prove the Sir Gideon is trying to claim the throne? I've known for some time that boy Percival was under Sir Gideon's care in France. But you admit it. I legitimized Percival under Sir Gideon's advice a few months ago during our engagement. But why? He had pointed out that the people wouldn't accept me as king without a heir. Of course, I hoped that Countess Bella would provide a legitimate child. Percival was merely a precaution. Rather like how the former Earl of Edgewater made you his heiress, I suppose. My father was nothing like you. If you legitimize the child, there must be a document of some kind. Of course. It was entirely above board. Sir Gideon was even my witness. His name is on the papers. You bastard. I confronted you about Percival and you denounced him. Why should I care for a child who can offer me nothing in return? He wasn't useful then. He is your son. This doesn't glare. You're right. What this man did was cowardly and cruel. You should be ashamed of yourself, Mr. Richards. And yet, I'm not. I wasn't going to allow Duchy Carlington to fall to a bastard if I could help it. The documents confirming all of this are in my townhouse, in a location not even Sir Gideon knows. We must get our hands on them at once. They are just the evidence we need to convince the Crown. And first you may gain entry to my townhouse. There's a spare key affixed to a rope in the waters behind the house. It is underneath the second lamppost on the western edge. Use it to access the servant's door, and you'll find that you can what you seek in a hidden compartment in the third drawer of the china cabinet. We must go immediately. Wait, what day is it? Monday, why do you ask? You must not go tonight, or you will surely run into my gardener. Your former gardener, you mean? Or need I remind you that all your worldly possessions were confiscated? And maybe so, but the grounds of a great house never go unattended. Dare I ask why your gardener is there in the middle of the night? Servants are to be unseen. I couldn't have him running around in the daylight when anyone could have witnessed him. We shall wait until tomorrow night, then, when there will be no one to see us. Footsteps suddenly begin to echo down the hallway, and you turn to see Yeoman Warden rounding the corner towards you. Time's up, my lady. It is safe for you to remain any longer. Just one more thing, if you don't mind. You turn your attention back to Mr. Richards. This is goodbye. So it is. Mr. Richards. May the devil take you. I will not be truly at ease until you are damned to hell where you belong. Before you can respond, you spin on your heel and follow the guard out the tower. The following morning, after getting ready for the day, You and Briar head downstairs towards the parlor to work on some sewing, but stop when you hear heated whispers within. You peek around the doorframe and see Viscount Harry and Mr. Mulcaster. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if we sue while they'd talk. We should listen. Perhaps Viscount Harry might reveal something important. I must tell you again, these accusations, they have no merit. And I must tell you again, I do not trust her. You were not in the room with Father, so you cannot know what happened. I realize that you do not have any faith in Countess Bella, but certainly you have faith in me. Of course I do. Then believe me when I say she is not capable of such a thing. At least Mr. Mulcaster is still on my side. Of course he is. You know he considers you a true sister. Comte Renard has no reason to lie to me. I trust him as well as I trust you, brother. I would have been shot dead by the French soldier had Comte Renard not intervened. If your faith in us is equal, then why do you believe him over me? It isn't that simple. The Comte gave me a valuable information to deliver to the crown. He knows things others don't. Comte Renard was an informant? I suppose it's easy for him to betray his new country. His loyalties lie only with himself. I am a spy, Edmund. I'm supposed to know how to find the answers, but honestly, I don't know what to believe. You've always been good on instincts, Harry. You get that from your father. Listen to them. Suddenly you hear a loud sneeze from behind you. Achoo! Who's there? Show yourselves! Briar shoots you an apologetic look and then emerges through the doorway. You follow. Mr. Mulcaster, Viscount Harry. I don't appreciate when people talk about my absence. Countess Bella, I mean no offense, was actually arguing on your behalf. I know, I heard the conversation, and I do appreciate your efforts. You shouldn't have known I eavesdrop on private conversations. If they were so private, you could have it in a room with a door that's closable. I will remind you that this is my townhouse, and if you wish to speak in secret, you can go elsewhere. So I shall. Come, Mr. Mulcaster. Fine then. Oh, before I forget, Comte Renard is preparing other lodgings while we are in London. He will only be with us for a short while more. That is probably for the best. Viscount Harry brushes past you, and out the door Mr. Mulcaster hesitantly follows. Viscount Harry seemed rather agitated, did he not? He is always agitated, but yes, he seemed more so than usual. Only moments after Viscount Harry and Mr. Mulcaster's departure, a knock comes on the door. Just a moment! Mr. Woods appears from the dining room and rushes to the front door. Well, when he opens it, you see Sir Luke standing on your doorstep. Good morning, my lady. I am pleased to see you, sir, but why are you here? I have a favor to ask, if it's not too much to bother. I've been in search of a London townhouse of my own, as I don't want to keep imposing on Mr. Sinclair. My broker sent me a message this morning with the addresses of several options. What wonderful news! You deserve a house of your own in the city. Mr. Sinclair and I are going to see them today. I hoped you would join us. I'm flattered that you would come to ask me to come along. I trust Mr. Sinclair's judgment. I value yours just as highly. I know you would not lead me astray. Going to tour London houses to help Sir Luke and select one with the aid of Mr. Sinclair. That's right, guys. Remember, Pokemon Shield and Sword is coming out November 15th on our channel. I'm honored that you saw my perspective, and I certainly wouldn't deny you. I shall feel a great deal better about my choice with your support. Follow Sir Luke out of the carriage where Mr. Sinclair waits, and you set out for the first property. A short ride later, you arrive at the crumbling facade of a once grand townhouse and make your way inside the entryway. It's not exactly ready to move into straight away. That much is clear, but it has good sturdy bones, I think. Come now, you cannot live here. We'll collapse on top of you. Sir Luke, remember you deserve a fine home. It would not make you wasteful or greedy to spend some of your new wealth on comfortable lodgings. Perhaps not, but I do not need much to be comfortable. He's like me. You give me no choice. I officially insist that you indulge yourself a little. As the words leave your lips, something scampers from underneath a piece of nearby rubble. Ah! Adorable. Pick it up and pet it. You leap back out of its path. It squeals as it disappears in a hole in the near wall. Mrs. Glare rushes to your side, steadying you with his hands around your shoulders. My lady, are you all right? Yes, only a bit startled. I am putting my foot down, Sir Luke. Try not to. You might step on the thingy. I will not allow any friend of mine to live in such a place while I breathe. You may have a point. Surely the next place will be better. Draw a sharp breath as you walk through the parlor of the second townhouse. It's so very grand. These doors are polished mahogany. Feel how fine this grain is. Mahogany. You see Sir Luke fidget with his cuffs. He hesitates to reach out and touch the door at Mr. Sinclair's prompting. It's quite fine. It's too fancy for him. This is a vast improvement over the last option. I'm sure it would be a marvelous study. I see it is suitable while you look around. Mr. Sinclair rushes off and you follow Sir Luke as he wanders down the hallway. Sir Luke's expression is inscrutable as he pushes the door open to a plush bedroom adorned with furniture and decor in shades of purple. Like the chair and the dresser. A yellow parlor, purple bedroom. I wonder if all the rooms are color-coded. Would that be a good thing? I have no goddamn idea. Only if you like it. It'd be your house after all. I'm not certain. What do you think? I think I can't picture you living in a place like this. You have been stiff as a board ever since we arrived. How could you possibly call this place home when you can't even relax within its walls? I do feel rather out of place here. You hear the door creak open. Mr. Sinclair appears in the threshold. Well, sir, what do you think? Countess Bella is right. This house doesn't suit me. And besides, did you see how small the stables are? They would only fit a few horses. Well, that simply won't do. Well, the final house is only a short walk away. Let's hope we fare better there. Your journey to the last house takes you through Hyde Park. Sir Luke smiles broadly as he gazes at the canopy of branches above you. It would be a dream to live off of Hyde Park, a spot of country, reprieve amidst the bustling city. Not to mention a lovely place to ride the horses while you're here. You're in luck. The house should be just up ahead. Mr. Sinclair points out a large townhouse of whitewashed brick with bushes lining the steps to the front door. Okay, and this isn't more stately? Jesus. You follow Mr. Sinclair and Sir Luke inside and find yourself in a richly decorated foyer. It seems promising. It has gas lighting. How very modern. Are you certain it's safe? I've seen no evidence suggesting the contrary. It's the way of the future. Whether you wish it or not, there's no use fighting it. Ah, ah, ah! The way of the future. That's adorable. I'm gonna make sure the servants' chambers are up to snuff. He disappears through the servants' entrance as Sir Luke peers into a door down the second floor hallway. It has an extra bedroom. Which is a problem because I don't want too much space or burden the staff with cleaning unused rooms. You have staff to clean, really? It could be for Miss Cordelia. I don't... That is to say, Miss Cordelia would never... I think she would, but I imagine any lady would wish to have a parlor for sewing and writing letters. I hadn't considered that. Mr. Glaire's voice echoes down the hall, and he appears before you shortly after. You must come see this. Follow Mr. Sinclair up another set of stairs and down a hallway. There are a pair of double doors stand slightly ajar. The doors emerge onto the marble balcony that looks out over Hyde Park and the city beyond. It's magnificent. I can see all of London from here. Is that your townhouse, my lady? I do believe it is. Does this mean you're willing to forgive the gaslighting an extra bedroom? I admit I like this house quite a lot. I will miss having you in my house guest, sir, but allow me to go send a message to the broker. Mrs. Clare returns inside, leaving you and Sir Luke alone once more. It's perfect for you. There's just one more thing you must do before it's official. You must shout off the balcony, write your name on it, drink in the moment, shout off the balcony. What? Come now, give it a good shout. And to everyone that is, this is your house now. Alright, I am Sir Luke Harper, and this is my house now. Louder. I'm gonna pass on that, but, you know, it's 2 a.m. How does it feel? It feels right, like this is exactly where I'm meant to be. Sounds of footsteps behind you heralds Mr. Sinclair's return. Message has been dispatched, the house will soon be yours. I cannot tell you both how much your assistance means to me. I would have been lost without it. Oh, please, come on. You may have inherited a few new vermin friends without it, in any case. At least the first place could house my horses. Come, it will be sundown soon enough. We still have a more unpleasant townhouse to visit before the day is up. You and Mr. Sinclair and Sir Luke return to the carriage. Darkness has blanketed the city by the time you, Mr. Sinclair, and your friends make your approach to Mr. Richard's old London townhouse. You immediately round the building and enter the gardens. You are surprised to find them in pristine condition. Why are you surprised? He literally has, like, people for this crap. Very pretty, actually. It seems Mr. Richards was not lying about the gardener's continued employment. Now, where did he say the key was hidden? Something about a lamp post, if I recall correctly. The second lamp post on the western edge. You walk around the edge of the pool and find yourself beside the second lamp post. This is the one. Such an odd place for a spare key. You kneel beside the water and locate a thin strand of twine just beneath its surface. When you pull it up, you see the key tied to the end. So, Mr. Richards wasn't fibbing about that either. That bodes well for the rest of it. We should get inside quickly. Mr. Clare and your friends follow you as you edge over to the servant's door, slide the key in the lock, and hear it click open. Slip inside and find yourselves in an immense parlor. A quick browse of the room reveals the china cabinet Mr. Richards mentioned. Aha! He set the third drawer down. The drawer easily slides open, but you all see within its scrap of paper that reads, "Only you can seize your destiny." What the devil does that mean? It means Mr. Richards tricked us. This is all a farce. What if it's a clue? Mr. Richards did say there was a hidden compartment. You're certain it isn't merely a self-aggrandized affirmation? You pull over the second drawer to the top and extract the contents until you see the drawer's button. See? The third drawer's shallower than this one. It must have a false bottom. Perhaps the Crown should have recruited you to be a spy, my lady. The subterfuge is rather thrilling. Now, what is the clue meant to guide us towards? Only you can seize your destiny. You peruse the objects on the china cabinet shelves and see a bronze statue of a boar with a gilded hand, mirror, and a sword mounted on a stand. Seize the future, seize boar statue, no. Fancy mirror, no. Sword. It says to seize your destiny, as through conquest. You pluck the sword from its hand and attempt to wedge it between the bottom and side of the drawer to pry it open. Just a bit more. You stab at the drawer for a few more moments, but only manage to carve a few slivers out of the wood. Drat! I thought for sure that was it. Must be something here, right? You, Mr. Sinclair, and your friends begin picking up objects at random, examining them closely before putting them back. I think I have it. Sir Luke picks up the handle of a gilded mirror, but it barely budges. Instead, you hear a click at the bottom of the drawer pops open. Ah. Okay. Of course he meant his own reflection, that cad. Yeah, I didn't think it was... I'm impressed, actually. You lift the drawer panel and peer underneath. There's nothing here. Oh, Fee. That wretched man. We should have guessed. I don't understand. How can this be? Mr. Richards said no one else knew of this location, not even Comte Renard. If the documents aren't here, we should leave at once. It's not safe to... Mr. Sinclair falls silent instantly when you hear a noise from upstairs. What was that? Shh, no one can know we're here. The faint sound of a muffled voice drifts down the staircase. Mr. Richards indicated that the house would be vacant. Perhaps whoever is here knows where the documents went. We must find out. You lead the others across the room and begin to creep up the staircase. When you reach the landing, the door before you creaks open to reveal... Huh? You glance towards Mr. Sinclair, who stands frozen in his place. His eyes widen. He doesn't move his gaze from Percival. That's... The young boy rubs sleep from his eyes. Who are you? We are friends of your Uncle Renard. Then why haven't I seen you before? Are you from France? No, my boy. We're all English. That's why you haven't seen us before. Never mind. You will see us again, but for now you must return to bed. But I'm scared. Now you don't want the evil Lord Ernest to take me away like he took my mama? Evil Lord Ernest? What? I know your Uncle Renard told that story, but it must be scary to be so close to a man you think of as a villain. Uh-huh. You know, your uncle's version of the story isn't the truth. You have nothing to fear from Lord Ernest. Percival, if you wish, we could tell you the true story. You will be able to sleep soundly when you know what really happened. Oh, Silver Plus is my favorite story. Is that all right, my lady? Perhaps if you think it's safe. Sir Luke, Prince Amid, and I can keep watch. We'll tell you if anything is amiss. Please, please, I cannot sleep without it. After all this time, please, my lady, a little more time with him won't hurt. Telling me a bedtime story. Like the moon in the back. God, to think those outfits were once a thing. I think it's a lovely idea. Let's go. You and Mr. Sinclair follow Percival into his bedroom. Boy climbs under the covers, and you and Mr. Sinclair both kneel by his bedside. Are you sure Lord Ernest isn't really evil? Yes, and we will tell you the whole story the right way. You don't need to be scared anymore. Once upon a time, there lived a man. This man was renowned throughout all of England. He was known as the noble, wise, evil Lord Noble. There goes the noble Lord Ernest. He's the bravest knight in all the land. A fierce protector of the innocent and a defender of truth and justice. The noble Lord Ernest's true love was an enchantress known as Bella the Clever. She was a peerless magician, raised in a humble village until she learned that she was secretly a princess. Not only that, but she was the most beautiful woman in all of the land. This isn't at all like the story Uncle Renard told. My mama is the princess, Princess Rosalind, and where is my papa, King Tristan? King Tristan was known throughout the land as King Tristan the... Mr. Richards. Yeah, we'll just go by default. Smelly. Smelly. That's right. King Tristan the Smelly. He wished to wed Princess Rosalind. So he locked her away in a tower, and it was up to the noble Lord Ernest and Bella the Clever to save her. But it was guarded by an evil dragon named Dragadin. Ah, not Dragadin. The noble Lord Ernest and Bella the Clever arrived at the tower only to find Dragedian standing between them and the entrance.
You shall not pass! King Tristan the Smelly is under my control now, and soon his heir will be too.
His hair?
Yes, Princess Rosalind is with child. With royal line under my claw, the dragon will rule England once more.
No, we will not let this injustice stand.
We will save England no matter the cost.
The noble Lord Ernest drew his sword and lunged towards the dragon,
but the beast was too fast. He breathed fire all over the courtyard and set the princess's tower ablaze.
Lord Ernest, we must get inside and rescue the Princess Rosalind and her baby. I will take care of the Dragedian. He nodded and charged in the tower as Bella the Clever faced down the great beast, the courtyard burning around them. Bella the Clever dodged a spray of dragon's breath. Ignis. Just as she cast a fireball back at him, the flaming orb crashed against the scales, but nothing happened.
Ha 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 ha! You cannot wield fire against me, for I am a fire incarnate.
Yeah, that... whoever thinks fire works against dragons is an idiot. Is that so?
Gideon attempted to tail whip Bella the Clever, but she dove out of the way and twisted her hands in preparation for a spell.
How about this? I should hurl a mound of rocks at her, electrify him, blast him with a beam of ice. Glacius! The air chilled around her as the ray of frost blasted against the dragon's hide, freezing his scales. He tried to breathe fire at her, but he only managed to cough frosty, harmless air. Oh! Crashed to the ground, the impact cracking the nearest courtyard wall.
You cannot defeat me!
On the contrary, I already have. Bella the Clever ran past her fallen foe and into the burning tower beyond. Soon, she found the noble Lord Ernest by Princess Rosalind's bedside, cradling a baby. That's me! Indeed, a sweet, healthy little princeling. It's all right, Lord Ernest. You tried. Princess, we must get you and the baby out of here at once.
Bella, the princess isn't going to make it out.
But the baby...
He will live. Worry not for him.
His name is... Percival?
Those were the last words she ever spoke.
What will become of the boy? Suddenly a familiar reptilian voice pierced the air around them.
That is no concern of yours, I'm afraid.
In an instant, he tore the roof from the tower with his powerful claws. Rubble rained from the sky, right down upon them all.
Shield the baby with my other.
Prodigo.
As the words left her lips, several rocks came together over the noble Lord Ernest and the baby. The craggy shield protected them from the worst of the danger.
Thank you.
But
Dragolin used the chaos as an opportunity to swoop down and snatch the little Prince Percival from the noble Lord Ernest's clutches.
Roar! King Tristan the Smelly will never see the light of day again, but the little prince will be mine.
He flew off into the distance as noble Lord Ernest brandished his sword and Bella the Clever lobbed spells after him.
No, you cannot have him.
Zephyrus!
I will take your hide, Dragedon. Mark my words.
Ember!
We will never stop looking for him.
The noble Lord Ernest and Bella the Clever searched England high and low, but could not find him. No, the story cannot be over. What happens to me? You and Mr. Sinclair share a somber look.
You're right. The story isn't really over.
What
Lord Ernest said is true. They will never give up trying to bring Prince Percival to safety.
They will also allow no harm to come to them while they live. So you see, the little prince can sleep easily.
Percival lets out a long yawn.
I want to be like Lord Ernest when I grow up, the bravest man in the world.
Mr. Sinclair flashes a wistful smile as he turns to you. I think our work here is finished.
Just one more thing.
I should kiss him on the forehead, wish the moon good night with Percival. The covers over Percival's shoulders. As Percival turns on his side, you tug the covers over him.
Sweet dreams, little prince.
Percival nestles his head against the pillow and his eyes flutter shut. You can already hear his gentle snoring as you and Mr. Sinclair slip out of the room, carefully close the door behind you.
You were so very good with little Percival in there. I cannot wait to see you as a father to our children.
I cannot again picture our children now. I hope they have your eyes and your wits and your smile. In fact, I would be perfectly happy if they were miniature copies of you. For you are perfection.
I wouldn't mind if at least one of them had your hair.
Psst. Glance up at the top of the stairs and spy Prince Mead peering down at you. He beckons you towards him.
We have probably dawdled quite enough. It's time to return to business.
Pause for a moment longer before proceeding cautiously up the stairs. When you reach the top, you peer into the hallway and see Percival's governess standing in a doorway, speaking to someone you can't see.
I realize it was sudden, but Comte Renaud insisted we get Percival out of the hotel.
There's a pause as she listens to a response you cannot hear.
It suits me well enough. This place is quite grand, and your staff knows the Comte's preferences well.
Yes, I imagine they would, considering he stayed here before.
Oui, I will have it for the morning.
She closes the door and hurries off down the hall. You wait a moment, then follow. Soon you come before a door with raised voices beyond it. You press your eye to the keyhole.
You have no choice.
No, I won't do it. You see your brother arguing with Comte Renard. The Comte shoves something at Viscount Harry, but you can't quite make it out.
It must be done, for all of England.
I said no. Viscount Harry threatens the object at Comte Renard, and you see what it clearly is in the light. Mr. Sinclair's pistol.
Mr. Sinclair, Viscount Harry is threatening Comte Renard with your family pistol.
Whatever for? The Comte doesn't so much as flinch as the gun points at him. He merely smiles sinisterly in return. You notice his French accent is absent as he growls in his next words.
I would not do that if I were you.
Why not? If I eliminate you, I eliminate the threat. It's a simple choice.
My supporters will carry out my orders if they do not hear from me. They shall eliminate your mother, brother, grandmother, that girl I've seen you eyeing, everyone you care for. You wouldn't. Not so long as you do as I say. Then I see I have no choice.
Viscount Harry falters. The pistol he is holding falls to his side. Comte Renard snatches it from him.
Comte Renard took the gun back. Well, my brother could have taken care of the problem now. But why would Comte Renard give it to Viscount Harry in the first place?
You will assassinate the Queen and Prince Regent on Countess Bella's wedding day, or else I will kill you and all those you care for.
An assassination at my wedding?
What a surprise! Next time on Desire Decorum, Comte Renard is planning a royal assassination warning. What will you do to stop him and save your big day? Well, speaking of which, I hope you all did enjoy the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support my content as well as me. Be greatly appreciated if you do so. Again, if you guys didn't know the issues that I'm going through, feel free to check out the community tab. Feel free to check out the emotional video. There's a lot going on. It just may be greatly appreciated to get a break once in my life. Otherwise, if you're not able to, please share it with friends, family, strangers. I don't really care. Share it with the whole internet if you have to. Just going through a rough patch right now, and I need all the help I can get. So without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.